Well, good morning, actually. I hopped on the bus, just as I was trying to say good morning, and I ended up taking a little spin down to St. Catherine Bay and back. There's really nothing there besides a big pier, so I didn't get off the bus. And then I took another bus south to Green Island. So right now, where I'm walking on this beach, at high tide is all covered, and that becomes an island. But right now, because the tide is medium, it's low enough for this to be an island. In the distance, you can see there's like all these little rocks and stuff. Like Jersey is like apparently has one of some of the more severe tides, and so you can like actually walk out to some of those distant rocks. Like there's this tower in the distance. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it's like I think it's called Seymour Tower, and it looks like it's really far out, but when it's at very low tide, you can actually walk out there. Although they recommend not to do it without a guide because people time it wrong and they get stuck, and there's like no cell service out there, and then you're just stuck waiting for the tide to go down before you can come back in. So yeah, probably don't do that. But yeah, apparently it's walking on the seabed floor or whatever. And I think somewhere on the east side of the island, like a little further around that way, is the oysters, clams, some crustacean farm that they have that is like one of the bigger ones in either Western Europe or the UK affiliated something. It's a very large one, and you can see it at ultra low tides. So yeah, that's what I know. I decided to get hot chocolate, go back home. Also, it's kind of cold. So when I went to the museum yesterday, I was talking about how like hunting for shellfish was like a big thing. I think this is the beach they were talking about, but I'm pretty sure all these little divots are some critter, like a different critter for each one. A lot of them. So I do kind of wonder what's in that runoff, because on that side there's the little hill things, and on this side there's little things. You can see they're little like squiggles, right? And enough squiggle forms and forms a little hill, a squiggle, like over there. And that's on the other side too, but then there's this space of just like smooth sand where none of those exist. So, question marks about that water. Cool. I think this is Low Rock or something like that. Well, the audio on this was certainly too windy to be heard, so I'm pointing out that that is Seymour Tower out there, the tower that you can walk out to. It's like 2 miles round trip, I believe, and you can kind of see right there on the horizon, there is a little kind of tower thing, um, like not Seymour Tower, but like it almost looks like a little like ladder situation. Like if you were to get caught out there, maybe that would be a way to kind of climb up, because the tide is in pretty far at this point. I actually don't think it's all the way in, but you can see I'm standing on a pier and it's quite deep where I am, and I'm way in from where Seymour Tower is. Yeah, and that's how far I am from shore. So you can imagine if you go out there and you get stuck, like pointing to how far you'd have to go in at this point. So yeah, there's really nothing to be done here. You can kind of see where the water line is there, so the water is going to keep going up. And then as I kind of go back out to look at Seymour Tower, I realized that there's actually another one of those little like You can kind of see it. It almost looks like a buoy, but it's really just like a metal ladder going up to what looks like platform that would hold one person. And I think it's about halfway. So my guess is that's like a, oops, I walked out there and the water came up too fast and, you know, I need somewhere to go before I drown situation. So, yep. And that's where I came from. I made it around the little headland. Officially headed east, like officially on the eastern strip. And there's the castle thing that I was at the foot of yesterday. And then in there, like in that bay, is where the beach I was on last night. Came around the corner and all of a sudden there were waves. Not big ones, but still. Okay, so I looked it up and the Jersey Oyster Bay Company is like back there. So I wonder if the oysters are out here somewhere. So this is the warning I was talking about. It says the tower is 1.2 miles from shore. Check the tides before walking. And I think that's the little halfway, like, oops. And you have to walk specifically like in a particular order. And then it shows you like why you can get caught out, because the tide doesn't just like come in like this. It like comes in all these different ways and can cut you off. Use the refuge tower if trapped. So yeah, so there's Seymour Tower and there's the refuge tower, which is like literally just like a stick in the water that you can go up like a crow's nest. So all that you can see right now is like from here up. So it's just the part where you stand and wait for the tide to go down essentially. And since my journey does not involve hiring a tour guide to go out there, I will not be going out there, even at low tide. However, I am going to see if this pub has food for me, because I definitely haven't eaten lunch and it's almost 1. Okay, I just had a lovely lunch at the Seymour. It was, you know, a little bit more like upscale than I was gonna spend for lunch, but it was really good. Fresh vegetables, protein, all that stuff. And I had a half pint too. But now I'm gonna finish walking. And in other news, apparently I missed some pretty aggressive rain. So fingers crossed that that was it, and that I somehow missed it. Lucked out for once. Although that looks kind of ominous, so who knows? Well, the tide was definitely at the bottom of this when I walked in. So I think it's starting to recede. Maybe? We'll see. Interesting how they painted the tower, but just on that side. I wonder if it's like a protection thing. And it's not on all of them. Also, I think that's the rain that I missed. Oh, another thing I learned at the museum yesterday is that I don't know if they still do it or not, but excuse me, back in the day, the farmers would use the seaweed as fertilizer for their crops. So they would just come down certain times a year and just like collect it and like dry it out a little bit, and then they'd lay it on top of their crops and like kind of mix it into the dirt too, and it would be like fertilizer. Well, gotta do something with all this seaweed. It's kind of aggressively a lot. So we're right here. You can see the water's coming up almost to the rocks. And if you look where that kind of pink little dot is, the woman's coat, that's about where I came out last night. So I walked way out there before I even got to the water. So that's how much it changes. I'm on this little like thing. The water is right over there. That's really slippery because the water's been like splashing on it. So I have not gone over there, but I'm over here, very much in the water. The tide is a teeny bit too in. I don't think I can do that without getting my feet wet. And I don't want to get waterproof shoes like wet. Like I don't want the water to get in waterproof shoes. So thankfully, there's this little ledge. So I'm just gonna climb over these rocks over there and walk past this. This little thing is kind of odd. It's only this long. doesn't have a clear path on or off, and all the sides are like clean. So it was clearly intentionally made this big. I wonder why. Okay, those rocks that I was walking on, a little too slippery for my liking, so decided to take my chances on the tide and being able to just cut close enough over here to make it. I can always hop on a rock if I need to. We shall see. So this is where I came down last night, and the sea is right there. A little while ago it was right here, but I walked way out there before I touched it. That's wild. It's like so much change. It looks different than the rest. It's like covered in metal, but it's like has these little things. I wonder if this is part of the German stuff, because like there's one of the bunkers and there's another one up here somewhere. So I wonder if it would kind of make sense. Look at that. Layers upon layers upon layers. It's wild. Well, that little ladder thing also doesn't look like the others. Maybe it's a later added safety thing, because there's really no other like entry point for a bit. But still, getting close. I think this little cafe is going to be my end point. Get some ice cream, catch a bus back. But I walked that whole beach, and then close to just as much around the other side. Feels pretty good. It's like about, I think it's a little under 6 miles. So nothing compared to what I've been doing, and it's pretty flat. Like I've had to climb over rocks and pieces, but like, you know, it's beach walking, so you have to deal with the sand, but it's not elevation, which is kind of a nice change for my body, honestly. So let's go see what this little cafe has in terms of a nice little treat. Okay, I got some pistachio ice cream from that little kiosk on the woman's recommendation. They didn't have mint chip, but it's like made here on the island. It's from a place called Blanc Pignon Dairy Farm, B-L-A-N-C, which I think means white, I'm not sure. And then P-I-G-N-O-N. I used to know what that word meant, I don't anymore. St. Peter, Jersey. That's what it says. So let's try it. It's pistachio. It's really good. Like if you like pistachio, this tastes like a pistachio. Like, I would say like a 9 out of 10. I'd maybe add a little salt to it, honestly, because it tastes so much like pistachio. So either a little salt or a little sugar, like go one direction or the other, but it's good. Okay, so I took a bus back down from Gorey to where I'm staying in Gruville, I don't know, whatever, that place. And it's only about a little after 3, so I think I'm just gonna have a shower, chill out, and then maybe about 6 go grab dinner in Gorey Pier area, take the bus down. And Thai food kind of sounds good, so I might try that place. We'll see. Well, still see some blue sky, but it sounds like storms are brewing with this thunder. I don't know if you can see it, but it's definitely raining. Not hard, but it's raining. Lovely. Well, the storm hath cometh. I definitely just saw some lightning, and there's some thunder rattling around. This is a bit wild. It's like coming all different directions. Thankfully not in my open window, but like all the other directions. I am so glad I'm not still walking in this. Like, this would have been real not fun, especially with the lightning and thunder. So, come back down to the rock, I think it is. Hawk or something like that. I was here earlier today. This is where I got my hot chocolate from that little thing. And the water was like almost to the bottom of that guy. Look at it, how far out it goes. It's like a Martian landscape or something. And I'm pretty sure it's not even all the way out. I think it goes out further. It's wild. You can kind of see in the very distance right there, Seymour Tower. It used to be surrounded by water. It's now. This is not what I planned, but I think I've ended up somewhere good. Let's see. Pint. And I have a pizza coming. Well, I got leftover pizza. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's only like 3 pieces and I don't have anywhere to keep it cold. But the server was insisted that I take it with me. So there you go. Also, hot take, literally, if you're going to be touching a bottle of chili oil, don't then touch your eyes. Because I did that and that was not fun. So yeah, I think I'm just going to... Oh look, it's the fast ferry. I don't know if you can see it. It's out on the horizon. So I'm just going to head back on the bus and then probably just hang out in my room, get up early tomorrow, and go on a bit of an adventure.